Welcome in, everyone. Welcome back to the Snap Judgments League. For those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as ItsGuestGaming, and we are finally back shoutcasting, literally shouting and yelling and casting all of the things that are happening here in the world of competitive Marvel Snap. Snap Judgments has been going on now season 3 for the last couple of weeks, and due to both a combination of travel and life, I have not been able to cast, but now we are able to recap some of the action right here for you. I've got 9 matches picked out for you today to showcase some of what's going on in the competitive world of Marvel Snap. If you don't know what the Snap Judgments League is, go ahead and take a look down in the description here on or whichever it may be for YouTube down below, and join the Discord, join the Patreon, join all of the above so you can get in on the action and have a chance at winning a huge chunk out of that prize pool. So we're going to be taking a look at 3 matches for each week that has gone on in passing, and then from here on out we will continue to get these broadcasts out live to you here on twitch.tv/ItsGuestGaming. That's where we're broadcasting this live right now, and let's just go hop right into it. We're going to take a look at our very first match from week number 1. We're taking a look here at RyanWood versus Fatnik for our very first game. Welcome back to Season 3, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let's see what they bring to the table in competitive Snap. And we start ourselves off with a Ms. Marvel deck, which I feel like we never see nowadays anymore. But Shadow King, Gladiator, Killmonger. Okay, this is a good, well-rounded Sarah Tech style build already is what it looks like they're trying to play into here. Here's your Kitty Pryde. Good timing with that Killmonger, could come off as a big success, even so much so I might skip here on this turn. Yep, go ahead, Ryan. Good idea, skip. Let the Sakaar figure out what it wants to do. And they put the... oh, why would you green border your Jeff? Oh, no. It's an inked Jeff. Oh, Ryan, I am judging you, my friend. I am judging you, my friend. That is... oh, man. Oh, that hurts me. Granted, I've used my green border on Loki just because I thought it made a heck of a lot of sense to have that effect spread to as many cards as possible. But, oh, man. As we go to Athena, Kitty Pryde, bounce variation build, we see what's going on here. Gladiator comes down to pull down Angela, remove that bounce play from it. So we're seeing this deck here, the emergence of the Angela, Athena, Darkhawk, you know, the counter to Arishem, a little bit of a bounce mechanic kind of mixed in there too. I wonder if this style of Sarah Tech's going to be able to hold enough back, as we do get a snap over from Fatnik's side. And now Ryan has to decide if it's worth it to try to compete for Baxter building, take a little bit of a dominant lead that way, play out that Ms. Marvel on curve just to fill the void. He doesn't like his options, and Ryan's going to retreat for 1 cube. He had options to play for, but using the smart version of cube equity, I like the idea of going ahead and retreating here as we move to round 2, as I go ahead and grab Edith and get ready myself. Onslaught Citadel opens us up with a Sarah in hand. So could be an exciting final play if we can get it all the way to happen. The Grandmaster in this deck is very much so intriguing because it's a card that I feel like doesn't get a lot of respect in Marvel Snap. It's one of these cards where if you know how to play it, it is a good card. But if you don't know, it is just complete and utter garbage for so many other players. So when you are playing a Grandmaster deck, it's always that 13th man. It's always the card you want to play, but then end up finding another variation for. I'm curious to see how Ryan chooses to use Grandmaster in this deck, as we see White Widow drop into Onslaught Citadel, and we get a temporary doubling of the Widow's Kiss as well. That does undo a little bit of what we could see from a reinforcement of Ms. Marvel if they go for the Ms. Marvel in the mid. But Enchantress also provides another way to disable that, even if they don't completely fill up the lane. Doing an Enchantress on curve could be a fun play here. Sarah looking like the turn 5 play at the moment. But not a lot of information on that top end. We haven't seen a Ravona pop down yet, so either bad draw luck for Fatnik as they get their Gladiator. There's the Ravona. She makes her appearance as if we knew, but we didn't because we're watching these here live with all of you. I'm seeing all of this for the very first time just as much as you are. Now Enchantress looks intriguing. And they opt for Jeff only, and it's a double snap scenario. Both players go for the snap on turn 4. Fatnik snaps first, followed by Ryan immediately after, going in for everything as Green Goblin comes down into Onslaught Citadel with a Grandmaster in play. Here comes Jeff. And Ms. Marvel also joins the party as we get the double Sarah effect. That's going to drop everything down by 2, where we could see a flood of cards appear as well as disappear. I apologize for the sound difficulty in the background. I can see we're having some issues with the music. Let's go ahead and reset it here a bit. Here comes that infamous Jeff, and then they go for the Clog style play in Onslaught Citadel, but Ryan's ready with that doubling down on Sarah. And the Titania now is even more exciting as a play, as we're going for 8 potential cubes here for both players, looking to set somebody up for a climb. There's a lot of moving pieces here. You could Grandmaster that Green Goblin, even throw it back over in the middle lane. You could Enchantress on top of it as well. You've got White Widow who can shoot on over, but primarily wants to only focus that maybe in the middle lane because you've got to move the Jeff all the way into Xandar for more power. There's a couple of different ways they can build this. Looking at a Killmonger to destroy any threat of the Titania being in the wrong place. That Jeff being in Xandar does undo the option of White Widow. Grandmaster the Green Goblin last. So the Titania can't do anything. It's just a removal of power. Because Killmonger's going to go off first. That's a 2, 3, 4 over in the right. The Ms. Marvel will proc off. No, you have a Ms. Marvel there. Careful, you're running out of time. No, the Shadow King's going to clog. They're leaving the Green Goblin in Onslaught Citadel to play the Ms. Marvel down. That's only going to give them 8 power into Onslaught Citadel. They're competing for Xandar in this play. Here it goes. Kitty Pryde over into Xandar, goes up to 4. Sage gets the reinforcement, shoots up from 1 to 5. Ms. Marvel drops on down, gives the reinforcement. That's going to be enough to steal it for them. Here comes the Killmonger to remove out that Kitty Pryde and Titania. White Widow shoots down into the middle as well. Here's the final piece with that Grandmaster, not moving anything over, just putting down a little bit of power. And that's 8 cubes off of Fatnik. And RyanWood now has a commanding 9-2 lead going into round number 3. Let the climb begin as RyanWood now is in an incredibly dominant position going into the next round. Tough play combo here. Tough play combo. As a Sanctum Sanctorum appears, and we get a snap with the loopable White Widows. Let's go ahead and get that BGM fixed in the background for y'all as well. Crank it up just a bit. This is what happens when you do things live. You never know. I try to keep it consistent as we see Altar of Death now suffering a bit here with that -4. You've got the ability of having multiple Jeffs slide over. Try to undo a bit of what Altar of Death could do. You have the energy advantage. And look to capitalize on it by having 2 turns to work with that Sarah. Right now, it looks like Ryan is praying to see any potential help here. Whether it be Jeff the Baby Landshark, even the Grandmaster would be a great card in this moment to try to move over that White Widow into the Sanctum Sanctorum. Here's the Green Goblin trying to help out with the Clog scenario. Titania shoots over temporarily. And Sarah's going to bring Titania back. First reduction down. And there's no draw of that movable card. Taking out the Titania might be dangerous because you do give them another opportunity in capitalization. They would be able to fill that space then on turn 6 differently and kind of mess with the tiebreaker scenario. But we do also know they have at least one more Jeff in their hand from the second round of the Cloning Vats rotation. This is a little scary to see them do this, and they get the double undoing ability of that Titania, which goes on over and will shoot back again. Here comes a big Sage and puts another Sage in the hand, and this was the fear about that Killmonger. The fear of the Killmonger was exactly this. They now opened up another space so they can play 2 cards, including a 3/12 Sage that exists already in their hand as they top deck a Jeff. And now are looking at a tiebreaker scenario and may have just sniped this away. We know they can move their Cloning Vats Jeff exclusively at the moment. They do have another Jeff in hand. So we could see 2 Jeffs, 3 Jeffs, 4 Jeffs, 5 Jeffs, 6 Jeffs in total could make an appearance. But I think it's only going to end up being 5, and I like the Shang-Chi call here. I don't think this can end up playing well, because we know they have another Jeff. We know they have another Sage. They have 8 energy to work with. Absorbing Man's not going to do anything. It's not going to proc off again a second time. Because the destroyed card isn't on the board. And this is going to be a learning experience with that Absorbing Man. It should have no ability. Here comes only 1 Jeff in the mid, surprisingly. As Absorbing Man hits no target. Tiebreaker scenario as you get a double smack over in the Cloning Vats. And by getting greedy in the Altar of Death, just like that, the tiebreaker is 10-9, and RyanWood takes down Fat Nick as a great way to open us up here in our first showcase of Season 3 for the Snap Judgments League. We got more action, so stick around, folks. We will be right back. Thank you, finally! Jesus. What the hell?
Koire. How was your Koire? Very best. Damn it.
It's coding to do bold and italics in Twitch chat. I forget what the coding is though. Holy cards, Batman. In. Wait. Wow, nicely timed Quake. It's not enough, but well done. It was like brilliantly played out. Like, if you can pay, tell me a legitimate way that this game forces you to spend money to be competitive or forces you to spend money to win. Can't do, can't do, can't do, can't do, can't do, can't do. Let's go, can't do. Can't do. Kitty Pride, can't do. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue on. Go into our very next match here. This is back again, once again, from the Week 1 showcase, and it's GingerPrime versus Deus Vult. Deus Vult is also in their Discord. A horse of a different color, if you will. The name is ThisIsTheWay, but this is their game name, so we're going to be calling it out as Deus Vult the entire way through. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's see what they bring to the table today. GingerPrime, a regular here at the Snap Judgements League, and we see Carnage, Iron Lad, Artem Zola, and Multiple Man. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say we're in for some phoenixing right now, ladies and gentlemen. And Dark Dimension, not the best location to get them started. Could be a double destroy scenario as we see. Ooh, Hope Summers takes a big hit. Maybe a bounce. A couple of different options here. But Multiple Man, Carnage, it's a great 2-3 line if we're running that style. Here comes White Widow. So White Widow, Hope Summers, Nico. Could be a bounce variation. Keep an eye to see as we get +2 from Nico over to the White Widow. Give a larger variance. And Vormir comes down. Not the best of locations for Ginger. They might be able to get around it as Carnage takes away that Multiple Man on 3. Shuri Vormir would work, and then put maybe a 50-50 scenario? Yeah, it's a 50-50 scenario. They need to draw either that Nimrod, as we see their own Shuri on the other side make an appearance. And it's a Human Torch. Not the best combination of things that they were looking for, but we could still see movement from the Human Torch in Revival, and then maybe a Venom in the mid, Zola out the 2 locations. There were some options they could run with, but it's not a very high scalable option. Overall, they're going to sweat it out, go into round number 2, down 1 cube. Okay, Zola start. With magic in hand, that always feels good. As Deus starts the kitty bounce routine. And a negative zone. Only really affecting a null line if possible. And still nothing to play. Let it pass. Looking for a little hope here with the negative zone. Hoping that Eternity doesn't send a rock and that Westview doesn't transform into another duplicator card location. Here's the White Widow, so they're going to put that rock also into Eternity range. They are also sitting on the Carnage, so it's a little less worrisome, but it's still something to consider. What's nice, too, is that with the Widow's Kiss, if they can set it up with another option before doing the destroy, the Widow's Kiss would destroy at 0 if they are running a null in this deck. I like the play here of the Iron Lad, trying to take advantage of a 4-6, possibly getting a Shuri. No, and it pops the Phoenix Force. Pops the Phoenix Force. Not the play they were necessarily hoping for. As we see a snap from Deus Vult. Great snap right there after seeing the Phoenix Force get drawn due to the Iron Lad and opts to retreat for a hell of a lot of nothing. No cards had been destroyed. It's another late Phoenix Force draw for GingerPrime. Good retreat on here and good use of cube management by Deus, knowing that it's not a lot on the board, but it's enough to know that the combos that they were looking to build in the first 4 turns did not happen and were very late to potentially even happening as well. As White Palace fires over a Red Hulk, making its first appearance out of Deus Vault, and Iron Lad got sent over to their side, which could also bode pretty handy. Comes Nico with the plus. A whole lot of nothing. Lots of upper halves here. Because we just watched the Rolk rise and rise and rise. And now nowhere as well, plus Danger Room. It is not a good combination of events right now. And the late destruction of Human Torch could have some safety net to work with. As White Widow's going to have a perfect interference play, now making it a 50-50 for that Human Torch to be revived if they can draw Phoenix Force right here. And they don't. They have to Iron Lad it and hope for the best. It's Lad for Lad. Here comes a She-Hulk. And Iron Lad hits Phoenix Force, which brings back the Widow's Kiss. Oh, the interference of the White Widow comes through huge. As now the second Phoenix Force is only going to get one potential move to get some doubling working. Here's a Taskmaster trying to risk out in Danger Room. It survives the Danger Room, as now we get the Phoenix Force to bring back the Human Torch up to 7. Drag it on over with the Ghost Spider. Hope that the Ghost Spider dies to the Danger Room. Does not. Now a scary combination of events here. Easy win with the Human Torch currently in the left. With Deus Vault, we haven't seen if they have a counter. You've got a 50-50 dropout here. That also puts 8 power back into the Danger Room if they choose not to play anything further into it. And they do. They're taking their risk chance on it. In the Danger Room, what do they plop? As Zola hits the Carnage. And it's going to be enough to hold on to the left lane is what it looks like. 8 is the number to beat in the right. Red Hulk dies to the Danger Room and takes 4 cubes off of Deus Vault. It is now 8-6. Moving into round number 4. And when you want the Danger Room to work, it doesn't. When you don't want it to work, it does. One of the most frustrating locations in Marvel Snap. One of the most frustrating. Kamar Taj, when sitting on Shuri Nimrod Carnage, is a scary, scary opening combination. As Nowhere makes another appearance in lane 3. But don't worry, folks. Location batching isn't real. Hope Summers onto Angela. And I like this call here. They've got all of the good working for them right now. Shuri into making some 24 power Nimrods is going to feel incredibly strong. Potentially snap-worthy, but they're only sitting on 1 destroy card. And with this being round 4, this is the end of low stakes, so this is probably your best opportunity to maximize your cubes. Push Deus into understanding it's going to cost you 2 to play. You're up 8-6. As Nico transforms the Forge into a demon, and Shuri says, hang on, I got something to say. We could see a very fast retreat, depending on what draws here. Here comes the She-Hulk. And add up a 24 power Nimrod. And now they also hit the Deathlock on top of it. It's pretty much over. And they still stay in as the Taskmaster goes up 12. And Hulkbuster hits the demon to give a little bit of extra power. Just watch the numbers fly. Here comes the Deathlock. Puts a couple of 24s, 1 into the Limbo, 1 into Nowhere. Deathlock's going to proc a second time on Kamar Taj. It'll do nothing. And here comes the Carnage to shoot that all back over here. 6 into the mid, 24 more into Nowhere, 24 into Kamar Taj. That's a nice Rolk you've got there. and they top deck Zola for all of the potential chaos afterwards. That would have been amazing to watch. The Deathlock and the Nimrod getting doubled up in just all of the 24s. But Deus Vult knew what was coming. It is now 8-4 here in high stakes, also known as 4-2 with a kicker. Torch and multiple get us going. Forge, it's Vibranium. No threats of Darkhawks in either of these decks. Magic says hello again. Here comes a White Widow trying to mess up the whole plan the same way again. And opts to keep the Ghost Spider. Here comes Gwenpool making her first competitive appearance in the Snap Judgments League, as Carnage now creates a 2 out of 3 scenario if Phoenix Force makes an appearance. Now, Shuri, Nimrod, Deathlock, Zola. I mean, they've got all of the good right now. See, this could be a very big missed opportunity if they don't Shuri mid. Yep, there it is. The play is Shuri mid. No, don't do it. Oh. Here comes Deus's Shuri. And they're gonna move both of them. For reasons I'm not 100% following right now, the goal here should probably be Arnim Zola-ing the Carnage to get multiple destroys out in the package. But they're going for the doubling up over in Nova Roma. Here comes a 32 power Red Skull, with a Taskmaster still yet to come, most likely for Deus, who's in for all 4 cubes. This is their tournament life on the line. 24 shooting out from Nimrod is only going to put enough into Limbo to win it. It won't be enough on the right. We could see Iron Lad hit something like a Venom. Still wouldn't be enough on the right, but it would help to win the mid. This all comes down to mid. As we see the Taskmaster and a Vibranium just for a little bit of insurance. Here comes the Nimrod. That'll give Nova Roma over to GingerPrime. Can he hit again? It's either way if he does. And he does get the hit, but it's not going to be enough. The Taskmaster hitting 35 off of Red Hulk, even though he got the line he needed, was not going to be enough. And now we're back to a tie game. GingerPrime versus This Is The Way of Deus Vult. 4-4. Little bit of a surprising stay. Looking at the end game of knowing Taskmasters in that deck. But they pushed for it. Tough moment to back out when you know you can knock out your opponent with one move. You hope something flows your way as we get a super flow in the left location first. Kick us off with multiple mana start. Deus wants nothing to do with extra energy for either player. Even though Castle Blackstone then comes into the mid. And technically gives a small advantage to GingerPrime. There's your 4. Going into turn number 3. And Death's Domain comes down 2. Now, this is a scary moment because they could very easily lose Castle Blackstone. If they lose Castle Blackstone, they may have to float here on turn 5. Sorry, on turn 4, if they lose Castle Blackstone, knowing that they then will get Nimrods afterwards. That's not going to feel like a great play, but it is a snap condition to get a couple of 12s on there. Here comes the Forge taking Nico Minoru, giving Castle Blackstone into possession of Deus Vult, as Shuri just hangs out into the domain. And they do take the skip. They skip all of turn 4. And both players are competing for the end here. Here's the She-Hulk, which puts another in the hand thanks to Nico Minoru. Kitty Pryde's going to bounce back one more time, and we're going to see a bunch of 12s make an appearance via Nimrod. First one goes down into the Death's Domain. Gets the destruction on there, puts 2 down on the board. Deathlock then also can go into mid, and you're looking for even one more potential play using the Arnim Zola. Maybe you get lucky and pull that Carnage or that Venom here on the top deck to pair with Deathlock and end us out here on the final turn. As we get Kitty Pryde, Shuri over into Super Flow as Nimrod then doubles over 1-2. Ginger now has the advantage back. And now has to figure out what are they going to get out of all of this. Can they steal 2 locations? Shuri was also the last card down in Superflow. Ooh, it's all about the power and hope. It's all about the power and hope. Can't take the 50-50. You got to go for it. Here's the Iron Lad who hits Venom. Hits the Venom in the mid. That's going to steal the Death's Domain. And then afterwards, Deathlock removes down a 0 off of that Widow's Kiss, puts down 2 more Nimrods into the middle, 2 more into Death's Domain. That skyrockets those lanes. What a hit from Iron Lad as the doubled up She-Hulk drops in. It's not enough to hold on to Castle Blackstone. And just like that, GingerPrime takes down This Is The Way, Deus Vult. Tough matchup, but a good destroy deck is still one of the most consistent decks in Marvel Snap. Phoenix Force, although very difficult to pilot when you learn all of those mechanics inside and out, and you get more comfortable, you can see exactly what that deck can do in competitive play. It scales incredibly high, incredibly quickly. It is just incredibly complicated to run. So kudos to you. Great piloting we got to watch on that deck. Let's get ready for game number 3, and we'll see y'all in just a moment. deal was for tokens. He has like 40,000 tokens. Yeah, that's probably not good.
I am reborn.
So there goes their ability to Galactus in the mid on turn 4. So... Cersei, Wong, Legion, Helicarrier, Abomination converts into Arnim Zola, who puts the Helicarrier in the mid. And then Destroyer! No! It worked! It had worked! No! Come on! The win was there! Plus 23, plus 23. Ladies and gentlemen, it has finally happened here on the Snap Judgments League. We have X69 Gaming. Let's go with a Hela that's going to do absolutely nothing. And the destroyed Killmonger Venom via the X-Mansion Leech. This is the XXX version of Marvel Snap. But at least they have a free death. The deck. Yo, can these 6s mix back to their original 6? Oh, no way. He can do anything.
Opponent snapped.
Show me a Deadpool in Murder World. I'm done. Hold it. Could you predicted it?
Are ye worthy?
Are y'all ready for match number 3? We got someone famous here. The one. The only. Deadpool versus Gatos. Let's see what Deadpool decides to fool us with and mess with us. By the way, let me know down in the comments if you have seen Deadpool and Wolverine. I have. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a fantastic film. I'd love to see what your thoughts are if you have seen it down in the comments below, but please, no spoilers. Be kind to the community. Let's take a look. As we see Jeff the Baby Landshark come on down, and we have a peak match now on top of it. Look at this. Arrow, White Widow, Ghost Spider, Dagger. I like the White Widow Dagger synergy going on here too. But Rickety Bridge is really going to mess some things up at the same time. Let's get Edith here. As White Widow shoots down into the peak. Jeff is going to most likely need to be a Rickety Bridge throwaway. But Ghost Spider Dagger feels very scary, as they also have Doc Ock. Doc Ock Rickety Bridge might be one of the most disastrous combinations we see come. Here we go. Ghost Spider's going to pull that dagger over to where the Widow's Kiss is, getting that guaranteed 3, as also the Jeff moves over there. So Dagger's not just going to get 3, it's also now going to get another one. There's your 6. That's going to shoot you up even higher into the peak, as Electro drops into the Rickety Bridge. And we could be facing a Galactus player. That Daredevil's going to help keep that element of surprise down tremendously if that may be the case. Waiting for the card to decide if the snap is worthy of it. And there it is. War Machine! When all else fails, just play War Machine. Tough call here. But we see the snap. We see a snap over from Gatos, who feels pretty solid on it, and gets Deadpool to go ahead and retreat for his first cube. Solid choice and play there. Ninjas open us up, and they're also, look at the card combo here from Gatos, also rocking Super Giant, one of the most under-respected cards in my opinion in Marvel Snap. I love Super Giant, especially here in competitive play, to really throw off the rhythms of the opponent. Looking to drop a small little Daredevil, no effects need to be worrisome on it, solid card, also one very underplayed. As X-Mansion might undo some of those benefits, though. As now they must choose where to thrive. We get a snap from Deadpool. Huh. As Electro comes down here on 3. X-Mansion's going to present 2 cards. First being an Ant-Man to try to fill up X-Mansion, and Patriot helping to undo a bit of the Shadowland. And now, Cersei flipping everything over. Zabu, Bucky, White Queen. The White Queen's now pulling that Doc Ock duplicate over into the hand of Deadpool. And Super Giant giving the advantage here. Great. I love the Daredevil Super Giant combination because you know the combination of what cards are being played. Your opponent doesn't. And depending on the priority drop, you're able to dance around it differently too. Ghost Spider Dagger ends up stealing Shadowland, so you only need 3 as they go for a full skip and reveal nothing. What kind of defense needs to be played? Is it worth it to do it now? Now with Deadpool hanging on for dear life. White Widow mid messes up a Galactus play because it'll bring it down to 1. They can win the Shadowland. Because White Widow actually goes up to 7. She'll be standing all by herself. Potentially, when all is said and done, up at 7. And then interfering with Atlantis. So the question is, how big of a card are they going to lock in into Atlantis here? Is it worth 4 cubes to find out? Or they go with just the straight up power play, go for 15 in the mid, try to win the location that way. That would take down Galactus? No, it wouldn't. It would tie-break Galactus. And they lock it in with an Infinite over in the right. Taking Infinite on the flip. Here comes Dagger. Slider on over. I'll take 12 into there, and that's 4 cubes being reduced off. Risky Infinite play on the right there by Deadpool for 4 cubes. Really felt secure that there was no way they were going to be able to take down the Shadowland, clearly. and just went for defense. Gatos holding a commanding lead now, 10-5 here in round number 3. We simply start with Jeff and Daredevil. No movement to drag afterwards. As we get a snap from Deadpool again. Looking to build the white-hot room up a bit. They slide their Jeff over out of the white-hot room as we drag over Vulture with Gatos's Ghost Spider. Here comes a Viper to restrict down the white-hot room. Now, this isn't game over. We do have a couple of control pieces here. Gatos can slide out that Viper away from the white-hot room via arrow. He has priority. We see a White Widow in Vibranium Mines. And they look at a Doc Ock load. Because Gatos will reveal first. By dropping arrow, it just secures the white hot room exclusively. And then they need to command the top afterwards. That's with only one card per round. I mean, one card per turn. This is getting a little precarious. Might consider even arrow mid. Or just YOLOing it with the Doc Ock over in the right. Ooh, this is scary, but let's see what they drop in. Pulls 3 cards down into the white hot room. We've got a Hood. So Demon ends up back into the hand of Deadpool. Infonaut. And Cersei, who's going to flip over the Hood. Iron Lad's going to hit the crossbones. It does nothing, and that ruins the Infonaut and turns it into Arishem. A mega tie in the white hot room when all is said and done. The emergence of Arishem undoing the successes. Oh, man. Gatos pretty much drawing dead, not having priority here to restrict with Goliath or do some control elements via the arrow with a little risk. Not enough, though, man. Exciting to watch, but not good if you are Gatos. Goes ahead and backs out for 2 cubes as we move into Fisk Tower, which could end up becoming a small problem, restricting some of the plays in how he could move around. All right, we get a 2/4 Daredevil. Here's the White Widow. Trying to mess up lane number 3, hoping for something like a Sanctum Sanctorum. It's a Baxter building. Has a nice effect to everybody as well. It's a doubled up vulture. Could be a fun play here. I do like Spider-Man. Looking to undo some of the potential doublings. Hanging on to the ghost spider and not taking advantage of vulture is a little surprising. Yeah, they get that extra plus in there. Temporarily clogs the lane, then reopens it back up. Spider-Man can bring the White Widow over into Fisk's tower, which would be a best case scenario, as War Machine comes down on 4. There it goes. There's the Fisk move. White Widow gets hit. Spider-Man gets hit. And now with priority, able to keep a small lead here and is debating about looking at the card and create a snap opportunity. Debating about a snap. If we see a float, no float. It's Crossbones in the mid and the Hood in the left. So potentially a full sacrifice here for Fisk Tower. Looking to try to beat up Arrow would take out the War Machine. Looking to see if there's any way to get that Shang-Chi to be the difference maker on turn 6. Arrow would bring over the War Machine into Fisk, drop it down by 4. Arrow would stay as is. That would go 10 in the lane because of the lead at Baxter Building. We see a snap, and they lock it in, but Deadpool decides it's not worth it. Good line of thinking here. Looking to free up that lead that they're getting as we go to high stakes. Gatos with their own White Widow. Once again, Daredevil on 2 seems to be the pattern to keep. Let's see if they keep up with it. No, they're going to take the energy lead. As it's Widow for Widow, and nothing really happened. A scary black vortex here. Deadpool draws first as they toss an Ebony Maw into the vortex, which turns into Thanos. Nothing too crazy there. Jeff in the Castle Blackstone definitely hurts because it's still 2 plays that can happen then. As Dagger's looking to outdo whatever conversion she'll get from the vortex. Hoping no Destroyer. Even though the Destroyer wouldn't be the end of the world, I would probably consider changing the order for that exact reason. You have no move card in your hand. You're not worried about the location being changed. Here comes Cersei to flip over the whole left-hand side. It's Rogue who takes on the Widow's Kiss. Takes on the negativity of the Widow's Kiss as that gets flipped into the Chavez. And then the Red Guardian hits on top of it, destroys Cersei in the process. Was not the best combination, as Dagger is now going to flip into Living Tribunal. And Castle Blackstone is fully up for grabs, because what a combination of events here. Rogue taking on the Widow's Kiss before the Red Guardian comes down to hit it afterwards. Like, lots of chaos. And 6 energy to use on this turn. Plus, they're sitting on Eliath in hand if they feel like the card that drops is going to be too important. Here they go. They're dropping in War Machine and a Hood that will register for 4 power when all is said and done into Nidavellir. So War Machine on the left is interesting, because they're intentionally clogging that lane. So they're sacrificing the extra energy as Eliath comes on in. War Machine takes back Castle Blackstone, but the Hood is not going to put a demon into the hand. And with Tribunal on the board, it essentially just comes down to stack management. Gatos can't take advantage of Shang-Chi, except in the Vortex, which is mildly redundant. And Deadpool knows it too. Backs away, and it is an 8-2 lead for Gatos with this control move hybrid. Ooh. Luke's bar is interesting. Very interesting. We're going to get a cycling of hoods. The kind of lead that Deadpool needs right now, as Shadowland also presents some negativity. He's getting ready. He knows it. He knows they're going to White Widow also. And puts it up even before knowing that that's what's going to happen. Deadpool having the toss-up priority is huge right now. Absolutely huge right now. As White Widow doesn't go for the repeat bounce. Ebony Maw drops into the Gamma Lab. NTW completely negated. It's a small lead for Deadpool, who's hanging on by the skin of their teeth. But Supergiant going down here means they are sacrificing priority with a Supergiant play simultaneously. They couldn't have taken it. Now, they try to figure out how to mitigate a little bit of damage. Potential damage. Either one of those moving over is going to feel good, whether it's reducing out the Hulk or bringing over the Hood. As with priority being in the hands of Deadpool, that means with Arrow going under Supergiant, the final card played would be the card that moves over. They lock their middle lane here on turn 5. And Goliath potentially comes to the rescue. There they go. There's the demon. There's the Lady Deathstrike who removes out the Hood. And an Goliath takes off the power and ability from Cersei. That's a tie. As we see White Widow come on down, bring the Luke's bar down low to nothing. Small advantage for the Widow's Kisses. Spider-Man's going to swing over the Lady Deathstrike. That's going to clean up both Widow's Kisses and give the advantage back. Spider-Man switching the lane and the possession and the strength of it with one web as Wakandan Embassy opens us up here in location 1. Hey, look, it's a White Widow. Hey, look, it's a White Widow. Both players are catching on to their patterns. Defensive Negasonic on the left. And I like the move combo just to get Ghost Spider down. Puts a 3/9 also into Nidavellir. So all of that, when it's said and done, is going to be 21. Ooh. Six cards in the hand. Do you just toss everything mid and hope? Oh. Thunderbolts and Wakandan Embassy going to be canceling each other out on the floor. They only play one card down, so one will still be left in their hand. Here comes the full flip. It's Infinite in the mid, followed by the Demon, followed by the Lady Deathstrike, followed by the Crossbones. It's a super high amount of power in the mid. Could be a forfeitable lane. As now Shang-Chi comes to the party and presents an issue. Because if it's Shang-Chi's the Infinite, it loses 18 power. That puts that lane at only 18. Shang-Chi is ineffective in this current matchup. That lane is gone. Deadpool has priority. As it's all about Wakandan Embassy. It looks like he's debating if Jeff is going to stay in Nidavellir. Looking at every possible combination of this is what they play here, this is what they play when. They're going to undo the Widow's Kiss. They're going to do this first. Let me put all the power down. Going for the highest surge of power potentially in the left-hand lane, which would be 12 from Eliath. And instead they take the safe opt to get rid of that War Machine over in the right. Here comes the play into Wakandan Embassy. It's going to be a Cersei who's going to put down a Shauna, which adds Hydra Bob into Nidavellir. Not going to be enough in that lane, even though Mantis is going to steal a copy of the Wakandan Embassy. Here comes the big old destroy piece, and watch Eliath just barely go over the top. It would have been enough if they kept the Eliath in that lane. It would have been enough. It would have been enough. 12 would have done it. Gatos, who made the last-minute call to switch to Shang-Chi and Daredevil, not having it, second-guessing themselves, and now it's a best-of-3 scenario. Gatos has to win 1. Deadpool has to win 2. Hello, Electro. They look for a little bit of a clog. And the big house in particular with that Electro is a little bit surprising, because typically they look to Cersei Electro. If they can't Cersei the Electro, maybe we see a Blink play. But I don't think we've seen Blink in 8 rounds. There it is. There's the Blink, tossing the Electro in, bringing back out a Crossbones for 410. Here comes the Ghost Spider, keeping up with Crossbones, and a Negasonic Teenage Warhead for a little bit of defense on top of it. Looking at just a power play here, but also could be a little bit of a lane cleanser depending on the order. White Widow goes down first, so Arrow's not going to be moving over the White Widow, but the War Machine second, opening up all 3 lanes with that big house, makes it a little dangerous. This is a tough play here. Just because Infinaut could go anywhere. And they can't Shang-Chi mid. They gotta hope that they're playing Infinaut on the right. Left is lost. Hopefully they compete for the left, is how Gatos feels right now. That would put 15 in the mid with the Daredevil. And they play it left! It whiffs! The Shang-Chi whiffs! And we're down to the final 2 cubes. Round 9. Oh boy. Gatos versus Deadpool. It's all down to this. final match. No White Widow in hand for Deadpool's a big win for Gatos right now. Looking at a potential clog scenario. Load up the right. No, second guesses and goes to the left, as well does Deadpool. Here comes the Supergiant, keeping more cards under wraps, spreading out those resources. White Widow comes into the big house, puts a Widow's Kiss onto Deadpool's side of the board. Here's the Supergiant on the flip, which is going to restrict the next play specifically, but Daredevil's already down. Here's the Hood and a Viper who sends over the Hood. Sorry, who sends over the Widow's Kiss right back, which can at least be canceled back out a second time. And Daredevil knows what's going on. Favorable positioning right now for Gatos, but there's not a lot on the board. Deadpool deciding their fate with a known play, Gatos having priority. And they play two cards into the mid. Jeff the Baby Land Shark and the Demon. 9 power plops into the mid. The Demon dropping would be the movable card via arrow. As they look to keep up with Ghost Spider Vulture for 9 power, assuming that the Jeff is going to potentially move out. We get no big Infinite play. And they're positioning 9 for the Pet Mansion via the Vulture. That would be a 13, 14, 15 point play swing. They stick with their original plan. They lock behind, keep priority, and now it comes down to Eliath. They're sacrificing the left entirely with that move. This is it for the final 2 cubes. Round 9 of Gatos versus Deadpool. What's the winning card? Gatos with the arrow would slide over Viper. And Eliath would undo what happens in Lemuria. They lock in the Eliath. And there's the play. It disables whatever's in Lemuria. Here's Blink, who does not get the flip over to happen. Then for the Viper, Vulture then flips on over. Ghost Spider's going to slide over into the Pet Mansion. That's 15 in Lemuria, 13 in the mid. And Gatos hangs on for dear life and takes down the Merc with a mouth. Deadpool. What a back and forth match between 2 legends piloting their decks. Absolutely brilliant gameplay to watch in a nail-biter down to the very final turn. But when all is said and done, you can't undo what the purple fart cloud tells you you can't do. Wild ending to that. Stick around, y'all. We're going into week 2's recap next.
Minions to me.
Oh! Oh! It came back first! Jubilee Giganto and Infra. Look at that spread. Look at that spread. Wow. Discard a couple of things. QQ, QQ. At the gym? Ah, gotcha. You should do a hydrate channel point redeem. Pharaoh, why don't you go take a look in there for a little bit? Go take a look in those channel points. Whoa. Yo, did y'all see that at the bottom of the screen? Y'all saw that, right? I just made that shit up too. I'm okay with it. Hey, here we go.
You worthy.
Cersei turns Jubilee into Cannonball, who hits out the no. Cannonball.
Doom rules all.
Hit him twice, baby. I don't care if you're Venom. Oh my God. Oh, that was so good. And now the epic sax music too. That's how we celebrate. Brings out the Magneto, drags over the Deathlock, the other Lockjaw, puts the stone in, pulls back out the Shang-Chi, and smacks the Null in the face. Ah, that's so good. Oh, that feels so good, but so bad. Thank you, Quantum Tunnel and Lockjaw. Oh. This was supposed to be clips of Cull Obsidian, but that was just too... Welcome back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving on to some of the gameplay highlights from week number 2 now for the Snap Judgments League. Once again, we had 3 weeks that have already happened. We just showcased a couple of matches from week number 1. We're moving into week number 2 with a couple of familiar faces. Let's switch on over and showcase the BUTT himself and the one and only Sizer in a matchup of legends here in 720p. Let's see what we got. We got a Cersei deck over on your left of the side of BUTT, rocking a Mobius and Mobius, Mysterio, Nocturne, Viper, and send it all over with the Sentry Annihilus Cersei package too. Very clean, straightforward deck. Sizer, though, not sure what he's bringing to the table, even though he's going to open up with a double cable. This could be Mill on, Mill on Cersei. Let's see how this all pans out as Mysterio loses one of its illusions to the miniaturized lab. We could see a double Cersei with Kamar Taj, which would be incredibly fun. I think it really just depends on what's going to be the Viper play. And Cosmo restricts Kamar Taj. With the new adjustments to Viper, which were live, I believe, at the time of this play, match, Viper should target the hood automatically. As we see Mobius and Quinjet and hoods and demons and send over the friends, almost clogging down the big house. Mobius, Cable, Cosmo. Sizer's playing a straight-up Loki classic deck. As now Cersei is just a stat stick at the moment. Not going to be able to flip anything, but will be able to just hang out and have a good time. Here's a Devil Dino.
as Cersei goes down for 7 points. Priority is in the favor of Sizer for 4 cubes here in round 1 if they go all the way through on it. It's a lot of plays. They do have a 4 in the center already, so it is technically a 9 already. If this is Loki, Devil, Dino, we could see a Mockingbird potentially drop into a miniaturized lab. It's a Juggernaut who smacks everybody out to secure miniaturized lab for Sizer. Here comes the Sentry locked behind Kamartaj. That's going to be a loss in the left-hand lane, and the big surprising Juggernaut takes out 4 cubes here in round number 1 away from the BUTT himself. Ooh, man. If you're gonna use your Juggernaut on game number 1, that's how you do it. You do it for all 4. You make them pay to see the card. That's incredibly big. As Quinjet now comes back. Utopia, which can help both players now, makes its appearance. Getting down that Nocturne right away to undo the Utopia is a great call. Trying to relieve a little bit of what could be happening here, depending on the draw. Get the White Widow. As both players luck on out as they land both of their move cards into Fisk Tower prior to it. Snowguard puts a couple of animals in the hand. Juggernaut's not going to move anything this turn. As we get a snap from Sizer. We could see a Hawk drop. Nope, they just go with the straight up Loki. Here's the full flip from Sizer. As Viper Shadow King enters the center play. Now Sentry is also ready in hand, if need may be. As Cersei is going to flip Viper and Shadow King into a 4 and a 3. Hoping for no Atuma. See how he pans it out. Even a Warpath for once would actually be very good in this moment. That'll also drop down the Mockingbird to 4 in the new iteration of Mockingbird, sitting here at 610 currently. Because again, these matches took place here in week 2, so from the time of this broadcast, about 2 weeks prior. A week and a half, we'll say, at most. Sizer looking at every possible option here, taking on a bunch of these cards. Trying to figure out how they can flip the 4 cards that they got from But over there. There you go. There's the Annie who shoots over the Widow's Kiss into Fisk Tower by moving out the Jeff first. That is going to drop down Mockingbird as well. Here comes the flip. It's Viper. It turns into Gwenpool. Nice hit there on the conversion as a Black Widow then stops another draw at the same time. Good flips from Cersei. Gift a little bit of magic. And now it's all about the hope of what could happen here on the final turn. is it just as simple as play the Mockingbird in hope? They got Mockingbird Sentry loaded all up. No need for a change. For another 4. Butts feeling good about it. Is Sizer going to stay? No. Sizer knows better, decides to back away, takes off 2 cubes off of their total. It's now 8-6, advantage Sizer. Good retreat on that. Good retreat on that moment. With the mid lost, it's too unpredictable. Time to back away. So we try to capitalize on Gamma Lab, depending on what Sizer plays in here too. Ooh, as they sacrifice their own Quinjet, most likely not having Loki already in hand, as we get an Altar of Death here on 2. And look at all of the good about to happen. Here's a cable to give another Hulk in the Gamma Lab side of things. White Widow reduces down the Altar of Death. We now have 5 to work with here on turn 3. While sitting on Sentry, Nocturne, Mobius, and a Mysterio with Deep Space on the line. Scary conversions here, but they throw everything into the Gamma Lab, go for a 3 out of 4. Both players do, as Mysterio 1, 2, and 3, with now an energy advantage, drops in. Small lead for Butt. As they debate about using the Viper for extra energy, they decide to pass. Just put the Nocturne down into Gamma Lab, and then they can pick and choose from the litter where they would like to do things. Putting the Viper also just for free entertainment into deep space feels good, but you are sitting on Sentry in your hand, being able to securely fire over the Void. Both players play Nocturnes. We could see a double location change. As it looks like we may have a priority throw. Trying to take advantage of the energy here, hoping that Nocturne from Sizer does not undo the Altar of Death, because then they've got the 1-2 punch. They do undo the Altar of Death. Here comes the Nocturne, flipping that over into nothing, because Shadow King comes on down with the Devil Dinosaur, and now it's a competition for Gamma Lab in deep space, as it's a 14-point advantage in Stark Tower. Hoping for the deep space flip rather than the flip of the Altar of Death. But who had a great play line to work on with that Sentry Viper, just could not get it to work. Take away a cube. Let's move to round 4. Machine World's an interesting play here. As well as Kamartaj, with a White Widow in hand, and a Hood in hand, and a Cersei in hand. I mean, this is a nice opening play line, but it's all going to come down to Cosmo's appearance or lack thereof. Here's a Jeff into Kamartaj, and White Widow's going to throw down a couple of kisses. And a White Hot Room. Hoping for some demons. And is going to pull off both demons. Mysterio clone ends up into the copy hand of Sizer. Here's Hood giving demon number 1 and demon number 2, Viper also in hand. That's going to shoot that over if they get the chance. Here's Nocturne who may need to do a block play. It's going to send over at most 2 cards if they Jeff slide only. We see a snap come on down from Butt. And they leave a space open. Here's the Snow Guard and Cosmo to block over in the white hot room, as now the Hood has clogged up Kamar Taj. Demon just for straight stats over in the right, and 4 cards down means that Mockingbird feels very good right now. Extra energy, read all about it. Here's your Mockingbird, here's your Demon, and they play a Devil Dino to try to keep up over the top. Now remember, the real Mysterio clone is currently in the white hot room, so that Devil Dino has to be at 15 or less to have a shot. Nocturne also has not moved yet. And Jeff has not moved yet either. Sizer looking at a 4-cube play here. 2 movable cards. A sizable lead in white hot room. Really can't play too much because of that advantage. And opts to just back away. Really pigeonholed scenario there for Sizer. And now it's just a small lead, 6-5. Here into high stakes. Now 6-5, this is a good advantage for Sizer here. 1 snap puts him in very close. We have a demon conversion also in Monster Metropolis via Nico Minoru. And no cards drop for 2 turns. This could even be a snap scenario. And I think that's what he's debating about right now. There's the White Widow who's going to shoot out a kiss over into the Nexus. Nico's going to convert that White Widow into a demon. The Hood's going to get destroyed in Murder World as the demon ends up in the hand. Cosmo's just 1 play too late to stop that kiss. And now, with a Mobius and a demon, we see a snap come back. Looking to put Sizer in. And spreads his resources a little wider, just in case. Still having not seen all of Sizer's deck, one can only wonder what else is lying in the deep. This is a tough piloting from Sizer to try to now combat the Nexus, knowing that there is also at least 1 more demon in the hand. And it's a good retreat. No lane conversion. Cosmo's doing nothing. Nico's already down. That would have been a tough one to try to come back from. And just like that, the lead has shifted as the peak comes down and flips out. Butt's hand in an incredibly negative way. Sentry goes to 6-4. Nocturne goes to 5-3. And location batching is not real as we get a Nexus into the mid to start us off. Now needing to be weary of that Cosmo making an appearance again. As Olympia increases those chances. Both players know it again, and we're in the famous Lammy Series favorite 4-3 lead. This is a huge turning point right now because we should see from Sizer a turn 1 snap in this scenario to make it an opening hand game. This is a huge moment, and Sizer's missing it. Missed opportunity. But we do see the snap. We do see them feeling like we have the line here to win. As White Widow and Jeff make their appearances on the board. Dead location in Fogwell's gym. Wakanda, not really too much of a threat, I don't think, in any card here, in any combination here. As both players Mobius. As they look to try to truly lock in Wakanda. Here's the Hood, puts a demon into the hand. Viper's going to send the Hood over to the other side of Wakanda. Over in Fogwell's gym, using only 3 out of their 4, they drop the Cosmo, which locks Fogwell's gym from being a true risk location. And now, with a top decking of Mockingbird, that Mysterio looks a lot more exciting than it did a moment ago. Here come the illusions, Mysterio 1, 2, and 3, clogging up Fogwell's gym, even though Jeff has not moved yet. We do see the Nocturne drop and a Devil Dino to help secure that location. This could be another Juggernaut scenario being set up by Sizer. I think this is how they're trying to play around it right now. They're looking at every possible play, determining how are they going to stay over the top here. There isn't the threat of Shang-Chi. Is that enough to restrict both versions of what could potentially happen? It's a race for Necrotia. Here comes Nocturne, flipping over into a Subterranea, which doesn't really have an effect. The Demon flips into Wakanda. Here's a Shadow King, followed by that Juggernaut, who's going to smack on over only the Shadow King into the Fogwell's gym, and Agent Coulson brings it over the top. Just a little bit more. Here's the flip of the Mysterio, and Sizer sitting there screaming with that Mysterio clone, begging that it was over in the left. By 1, Sizer is knocked down 3 cubes. It is so close, and Sizer saying, man, that was fantastic, with the GG fist bump. What a tight match here. Now in round 8, Sizer has to win 2 games versus only 1 from the perspective of the BUTT, as Cable steals an unknown card out of their deck. And Onslaught Citadel, favoring that Devil Dinosaur, appears in the middle lane as White Widow helps to clog the right. And an Eternity Range on top of it. Oh, man. You know you got a Rock incoming. Pretty safe bet. It's either a dead location or a flip it all location. Here's the Agent Coulson as Nocturne and Mockingbird come on down. Now, the big thing on this is the fact that, man, he has pulled priority out of his hat and is able to get around a Cosmo flip thanks to Mockingbird. That was a huge move as we see an undo here from that Nocturne, bringing Panopticon onto the board. Here's a Sage over in the right and Bast on top of it. The blessings and the curses of the Eternity range flips from the Cersei location as now they sit with reductions and Shadow King being the saving grace here for Panopticon. That'll put 10 into the lane, and Mysterio will plop up on top of it. Sage was a huge pull and might be the end of Sizer's rounds here as Sizer gives a fist bump. He doesn't feel good about it. This is probably it, folks. Did but pull one out. I know what I said. Sizer trying to figure out if there's any potential way to make this happen. Here's the Nocturne move. It's all about trying to keep up there on the left as Hell's Kitchen's going to draw a card. Here's the Sentry followed by Shadow King. That's 17, but wait, Nick Fury's not done. Puts a couple cards into the hand, followed by the Snow Guard and the Quinjet. It's so close, but the Mysterio keeps it in line. Everything comes on down for Sizer, tries so hard, and just like that, Sizer is taken down, ladies and gentlemen, by the BUTT himself. Man, that was incredibly close. Mysterio coming to be, well, exactly what you want. Indecisiveness, and that's one of the hardest things about running those decks, is trying to always locate where that final Mysterio clone is going to be, especially if they're not converted until the final turn. Man, I mean, just watching those plays play out was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Two absolute geniuses. Yo, stick around. God knows what's coming next. We'll be right back.
I think the ads were broken for a while if you had Prime. It's too bad that's fixed now. Oh. I did not know that. Ooh, one cost cards are gone, so problem. Well, actually, no. So fucking See, and that's annoying as hell, though. Because if that bug is like that, I would have Dan Hip, inked. Hope Summers inked. Angela inked. White Widow. Not really inked, but sort of inked. Inked-ish. Kitty Pride inked. I think they play this deck a lot. Comes down, and everything in its sister disappears in the process, and you get an X23 also from Shauna. It's double X23, plus their own X23. We are building up 23 plus 23 plus 23. Ladies and gentlemen, it has finally happened here on the Snap Judgments League. We have X69 Gaming. Let's go. With a Hella that's going to do absolutely nothing. And the destroyed Killmonger Venom via the... I just made that shit up too. I'm okay with it. Hey, here we go. Cersei turns Jubilee into Cannonball, who hits out the no. Cannonball.
Doom rules all.
Hit him twice, baby. I don't care if you're Venom. Oh my God. Oh, that was so good. And now the epic sax music too. That's how we celebrate.
Oh, thank you, Boomplex, for coming on in as you came in at a really, really awkward time. Shit. All right. So, as I get fisted by Red Guardian 4 fucking times, now, hopefully, you have priority. Fuck yes.
Sizer. Do you go for the risk of 4? No, let him take his 2. If he's sitting on that Hella and could call the Hella back, that's a good play. That's a good play.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back once again here with another week 2 showcase, as we're going to be showcasing, well, someone that you have definitely seen all over the interwebs. Whether it be on YouTube, whether it be live in person, you never know where you're going to find these 2 players in a absolute powerhouse showdown. We have one of the Brookland winners right here in DenhamFalcon, as well as Poweron's very own DoctySnap. Let's go to the battle, see what they bring on in. Good luck, have fun. Let's see what they get on down. Oh, it's him. It's him, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, the only, the loved, the hated, the despised, the praised, Arish M. All of the inconsistency coming on down as Docty lets him know right off the bat, hey, I'm playing this. Let's resize a little bit here. Getting a little cut off. I don't want you all to miss any of the cubes, any of the action. There we go. That looks much better. Now you can see everything. And that's the hope. We get a skip, skip, skip to Maloo. My, oh my Elysium. Talk about all the energy. As it's Arishem on Arishem, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all, grab your drinks, place your bets. Let's see how this one pans out. Who do you have for the live chat? Who do you have in the matchup? Is it Arishem A or Arishem B, as Agent Coulson pops a couple of randomnesses over into the hand? And a top-decked cloak feels very good right now. We see a snap come down from Denman. And Docty doesn't like his line. He had the ability to go ahead and go with the Namora, beefing up that Agent Coulson over in the Quantum Realm, but it's still a little bit risky to have to deal with. Round 2, show me the big red face. this time pulls 3 out of 4 in their opening hand from their actual deck. As Denman opens up with a Colossus to start. Panopticon favoring both players here. And as good as that Loki feels, this is not the moment you want to have Loki in your hand. You're sitting on Mockingbird, you're sitting on Blob. And a compound to boot. So looking at the sacrifice, you can see the Mockingbird that we're playing with, because once again, these are former broadcasts that we're looking at. This is the beginning of the week 2 window. So we have old Blob, old Mockingbird in play here. So they are able to play that infamous combination of Blob plus Mystique in this match. With 2 Shang-Chis on the board. Ooh. Put a floaty 5-0 into Panopticon. Here comes Legion. Legion playing down into Asgard 1, 2, and 3. And go ahead and eat them all up, Blob. Eat them all up. Eat them all up. At 17 to start, you get a couple of draws. You get a couple of draws. You get a couple of draws. And now, Docty's looking at every possible way to maneuver around getting a couple of 6s here. Keeps the Nick Fury in the left, just plays Shocker, Ghost Spider for power on the right. They're gonna get 3 6s, clogs their hand. 1, 2, 3. Orca and Artem Zola are good pulls here as Leech disables the hand. Everybody's favorite card in Marvel Snap. And Docty still with a good solid lead here. Now has to decide if 11's going to be enough in the mid. If it is, they can play down that Orca for 11 into Asgard. That'll bring him to 16. And for only 2 cubes, this is a pretty solid final play. It's only round 2. Plenty of time to work with. We are probably going to see a Blob, if I had to make a guess. Denman doesn't have the nuts and decides to back away for 1 cube. Okay, so with all of the discards, all of the removals, all of the chaos, Docty's opting to remove the surprise and play Juggernaut? No. They go for the Prio pull. Puts Ghost down, now constantly keeping Denman in the front. All right, so with the right loading here, as we see a snap come down from Docty. And Eternal's Arc makes a scary combination. Denman doesn't want anything to do with it, decides to back away for another cube. Tight play here with the brand new Eternal's Arc. as we go to round 4. Opening hand Quinjet always feels good as an Arishem player. And Sinister London. That is a scary combination for both players, but Docty definitely having a nice lead with that Quinjet already down. Olsen goes full clog. Puts everything into the hand. Possibly already even sitting on Loki. I like this call as well. I like this call as well. Just get a Jin into your hand just in case. They are double Beta Ray billing, which came from Coulson based on that border. And talk about your low chances, but never know. As they look at a turn 5, give me all the energy. Ooh, it's a little light in the center. Little light in the center. As Denman snaps. I mean, one hammer ending up in hand is pretty damn good. But Docty doesn't even want to risk that second cube. Even though we had some fun cards, like getting 2 possible hits out of that Gambit towards the very end. Could have been fun, but not worth it. Awful opening hand for Docty. Pulls out Atuma and Namor. As the reinvigorated 3/4 Shauna is going to make a turn 1 appearance. All right, Shauna, what do you got for us? Show me 3 1-drops, and it's Titania, Sunspot, and Nova. As the White Palace is going to gift over Namor or Atuma, and they get blessed with a Mockingbird. Epic pull right there for Docty. Saving that awful opening hand. Saving it, saving it, saving it. As we get raided and come on in with devilish play. Welcome into the broadcast here for Snap Judgment League, everybody. Denman wants nothing to do with it again. Backs on down. It's 8-6. We move on. We move on. Again with the Kingpin. And Leech in hand. Created by Arishem. That's just mean. That is just mean. Ooh, this is fun. Ooh, this is fun. As Crystal helps with the draw. Oh, and Sinister London's back! Again, location batching isn't real. All right. We see a snap from the other end. Everybody's all in. Keep the spaces low, but get just as much energy. I like the Kamartage play here. Here comes Loki Loki. Full open hand, full open hand. That is a little risky if Docty's also running a regular leech in the build of the deck. They have 7 energy to work with this turn. They need to get their on reveals down. They still have that Darkhawk. Which provides a little bit of saving grace. And the Kingpin could also be a clog card to help give up on the Kamartage depending on the placements that land from Sinister London. What's just as fun is that top deck null. The top deck null would be great. Playing the blob and then later null as a backup plan could be really cheeky, really fun. Ooh, he pulled his Darkhawk, which sits for 35. That's going to reduce down the Darkhawk a hell of a lot, y'all. Watch blob number 1 and blob number 2 onto Kamartage. Everything disappears, card by card by card. The vacuum of the blob takes in everything piece by piece by piece as Darkhawk dwindles down to almost nothing. Oh, man. With only 3 cards left in the deck. Here comes the protection. They have the option to defensively play Leech. And they do. They take it on down. What's in Sinister London? It's Rogue, who takes on the blob. This is the old version, y'all. She eats up. And it just got that much closer. Oh, and they top deck Rogue too. It's a 50-50 shot. It won't reduce the other Rogue, but it will eat the rest of the cards. There's only 1 card in the deck. The only card it would eat. This... I miss watching these games in the old version of Blob, but man, is this close. This is for all 6 cubes of Denman's tournament life. Can he bring Docty down from 8? Lizard's gonna go down. Lizard's gonna go down. And it doesn't happen. Denman backs away. Doesn't make it happen. Oh, what a close matchup. Denman's got to win 4 in a row against the pro Docty. Denman is no stranger to comebacks. Let's see what he can pull out here on this round. Lake Hellas is our mid play. Debris doesn't want to go too chaotic and lock out Lake Hellas, but does want to catch a little bit of chaos. We do have a Darkhawk into Mystique. Or not. Because, you know, Leech is a fun card. As Darkhawk helps to clear the lead cleanly for Docty. We could see a double pull with Baron Zemo. Or a sacrifice. Just to, to get a little bit of power in Morag. I like it. As we get a Quinjet on top of the board, as Legion opens everything up for a double on reveal play. Arisham top deck, not the card you're looking for right now. You're only sitting on power as is. That puts 13 to help steal Kamartaj back. Kamartaj 3, I should say. As Darkhawk shoots it up top. Ooh. Docty takes his first 2 off again. It's now 6-2. Slowly but surely, Denman's trying to climb back. Red Guardian, my friend. You get a magic flip. Okay. Lots of opportunity now for Denman. And that White Widow with Death's Domain all of a sudden just became a huge, huge deal. Play the curve out. Just getting out the power. And a Hobgoblin to boot. Ooh! Feel the curve. Whoa, whoa. Koire, ooh, looking for that protection piece on Death's Domain to get a couple cards down, helping to undo what might be pretty inevitable from the Widow's Kiss, which is a lane flip. Oh, boy. What looked promising now looks scary. As Docty debates, maybe the YOLO is the case. This is only 2 more turns to go. You're not going to clog your left-hand lane typically, and he takes the risk, and it pays off. Locks the Limbo down as Blob is going to eat up on Death's Domain, helping to undo a bit of that damage from the Widow's Kiss. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a race for Nova Roma as Koire keeps Blob in check. Ooh, Denman saying fist bumps. We got a Shang-Chi premature with a ghost second. If he held on to it, he might have had it. If he held on to Shang-Chi, he might have had it. A gift given to Docty of seeing that Shang-Chi hit the board early. Unless we see the magic of Odin. Could we see a surprise Odin? We could see double Shang. We could see Odin, because that's their own Shang-Chi. We could see another one because that can be materialized. This is a really big brain move if they put that first Shang-Chi down as bait and then Ghost second. They play 2 cards into the mid. Here comes the blob eating everybody up. It goes up to 16 power. It's a Legion to get a couple of card draws. He's mad about the Shang-Chi just as much. There's a draw, there's a Howard. And Denman, good try, kicking himself on that Shang-Chi play right there. Unfortunately, DenhamFalcon is taken down by the one and only DoctySnap. Look, you try to push for priority. You try to make the big play. You try to get ahead, and man, absolutely devastating final move. And that's one of the magical things about calling a competitive match here when you have Arishem, because you really never know. It's one thing to understand a deck and make predictions. It's another thing to literally have absolutely no idea of what your opponent might be potentially playing. Who knows what our next opponents are going to be playing right here after this short break.
Bob and weave. No Shang-Chi. No Shang-Chi. No Shang-Chi. No Shang-Chi. No Shang-Chi. And double blob doesn't do it. Double blob doesn't do it.
Victory.
Take it. Come on, Leech. Bitch. Twos. 15, Piggy. We lose in the 13. Oh, and it's gonna proc it twice. That's not fun. Womp womp. I just can't believe it gave me a Grandmaster. It was so unnecessary, but necessary. Like, that was great. Okay. Is this what Tribunal deck runs Mr. Fantastic? I haven't seen that in a hot minute. I think I have to move this now because there's the Iron Man. So we remove the double up. Ooh,
Mighty hand.
that felt good. Okay, so now it's time to do math. Kai no Kai. Because Kai Kais. Snapping.
Oh, snap.
So fast. Yeah? Oh, so hold on. The ones who really care, in the end, they'll be the only ones there. And when you get old and start losing your hair, can you tell me who will still care? Mbop ba dooba dop ba doobop ba dooba dop ba doobop ba dooba dop ba doo. Oh yeah. Mbop ba dooba dop ba doo bop ba doo dop ba doo bop ba doo dop ba doo. Yeah.
Okay, that one was good. Here's the Glad for the death kill. And it pulls the prof! Yes! Oh, how amazing is that? Now wait, hold on. Can this win? All right, we're back. We're back with match number 6, and I hope you're powered up. I hope you're prepped. I hope you're ready. Because, yo, the best hair in all of Marvel Snap is coming to the big screen. Well, this screen at least. It's the one and only JJRolk versus JimmyDickins. Power on! Good luck. Have fun. Let's see what happens. JJRolk versus JimmyDickins. Let's see what they bring to the table. And I know it's going to be an interesting match right away because look who we see front and center. Hydra Bob! I love it. 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 Let's go. All right, JJ flexing. As Psylocke enters the game, gives a small advantage. We do have Cull Obsidian that they can work with. I like the 1-2 punch. Very creative punch here for what Cull Obsidian can do, and then you can move out the Hydra Bob with a snap. No snap means that stays there. Play down the crossbones, help secure that location first, especially when they've already got a lead in Morag. Nocturne to negative zone. Keep up beefing that Angela. Mysterio 1. Mysterio 2. And a Cable. Ooh. Cable pulling a Goblin could be pretty big right now. It's going to be a small flip in negative zone. It'll shoot up to 1 power, but risky play if they opt to put that Goblin down really anywhere at this current moment. As Ajax is able to capitalize on the negative zone. Here comes a Blue Marvel to help undo a little bit of it too. And they only are stuck with 1 potential option. Is Mockingbird enough? Or can they steal it? They're looking to try to steal it. They're hoping for nothing affecting the Crimson Cosmos. And I like this reversion, this alternate variation here. I like this a lot. Ooh, here we go. Nocturne's going to slide on over to Hellfire Club as Hazmat's going to reduce down the board. Ajax shoots up a little bit higher, goes up to 22. Watch the flips, y'all, as Sage comes down into Morag. Here comes the Green Goblin, sending that over in the negative zone. That's going to take the negative zone from that 2 to not enough, unless if Shauna can pull off a massive win here, but it's a Bast. It's a Bast who watches the Ghost Spider pull the Green Goblin over into the left. Squirrel Girl is going to tie up Morag and give the lead back. It's so close with all of the back and forth, all of the reductions, and a Ghost Spider to make it interesting. Even with that flip of Mysterio, I thought they might have had it in the middle lane. They couldn't pull it back up because, man, that Bast was just way too much to climb over. Oh, that was a tough call. Tough one to watch play out, but a lot of fun to watch play out. Because you never know with Shanana Unana. We have all of the pieces coming on down here. This is a Mockingbird's Dream. Ooh, and a hold. There's the Mockingbird. You take advantage of the curve? I think you do. I think you take advantage of the curve here. I like that play over on the side. The Cull Obsidian into Avengers Compound feels solid. And you've got a lot of 10s. There's a lot of 10s to work with here. Dream scenarios do play out from time to time. The question is, do you need to try to find a way to keep the Altar of Death in your favor? Keeps 2 open there. Here comes the first bounce. Here comes the Hope Summers. And now Nocturne opens up some unique ideas. Especially with Shauna coming down on the board. This is a scary, great combination of cards right now for JJ. He has a lot of options at his disposal. He needs to see if that Nocturne's going to free up the Altar of Death at all. And play like it will. Sage scales pretty high. Kitty Pryde's going to bounce back. But they need to win another lane. So do they do it via flipping the Altar of Death? And JJ can just play super heavy into it with cards like Shauna. Oh, that Cull Obsidian's scary, man. This is a lot of power. And a lot for Shang-Chi to say, it's okay, I got this. There's the Nocturne. He goes for the flip. It flips the location into Titan. That's a win in Avengers Compound. Is 13 enough to hold? And it's the 1-2 punch of Hazmat, Ajax, Kitty Pryde. Not enough in Titan there. Not enough. Tight match. JJ takes off 2 from JimmyDickins. All right, Kitty Pride. Crossbones into nowhere. I like it. I'm trying to figure out the different play lines and options that JJ presents on this deck, because there's a lot of flexibility. But I think it really comes down to Squirrel Girl and Mysterio consistently. Ooh, Mysterio's scary and nowhere. Right, you're maxed out with no snap. Ooh, Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin to Stark Tower. That's a locked location. That lane is done. You've got your Crossbones protected, right? Crossbones is safe. But now it's just about the Danger Room. What's going to survive? I don't understand the Blue Marvel decision. Is he scared of 16? Ooh, it's the Hazmat 1-2 punch. Is Ajax able to go over the top? It is! Oof, man. Ajax, scary card in Marvel Snap. They took their chance. Now JJ is assessing the board. Trying to figure out, on any given day, how is he going to take out an Ajax lane? Oh boy. In this deck in particular, JJRolk's got to be looking at Project Pegasus and kind of screaming properly. Hope Summers, Ajax. If Ajax is already clogging in the kiln, is 20... What's that, 24? 24 in the kiln. You're looking at a manipulated Hydra Bob scenario, possibly. Because you're competing heavy in that lane. This could be very exciting because of Shauna as well. So it's about priority management, thinking about hazmat. Oh man, do you do the thing? Hydra Bob, Cull Obsidian, drops the 10. Here's the Goblin. And the initial hazmat play. That's going to switch Ajax over. But now Scar is free and Shauna can come on down. They can clog every lane if they play both over to the right. And they do. Yeah. Nice move there. And they needed that. They really need that hazmat to make a bigger impact. And I'm surprised they played it down on turn 5, which speaks to the turn 6 needs and hopes as well. So probably a safe retreat here. Looking at your board, it's JJRolk with 6 and JimmyDickins at 6 in a nail biter featuring Hydra Bob. Who would have saw that coming? Crossbones looks to secure Hala. Green Goblin gets fired over into Pet Mansion right away. So if that may be the case, then Angela Kitty Pryde into Lake Hellas, that would be an extra beef. And then you've got Sasquatch. Okay, take a look at all the potential cards that can come on down on turn 5. If you go Squirrel Girl Scar, you're going to get 2 pieces that can reduce down the Mockingbird by 2. If you go Squirrel Girl Shauna, you get 5 pieces that reduce down the Mockingbird to 1. It also brings your Sasquatch down to 4, but Scar is a guaranteed play. I think you have to exercise Shauna on this one to have the flexibility of all those 10s. Kitty Pryde to hope. Here comes the squirrel. You're a little clogged up right now, but the extra 1s give you that 210. All right, that's all you needed. It's 2 10s, providing the flexibility for Hala and Pet Mansion, one of them being Scar, so 11. Hydra Bob locked in. Athena, if it goes up 3, that brings that lane organically by itself with 2 drops over to 12. You could see Angela get +1 with the Kitty Pryde reinforcement too. I don't think this is Athena play. I think this is a play for Hala. I'd be surprised if they didn't push for Hala right now. Knowing that they have a bunch of 10s in the deck, and they have a load of cards to drop. They just played onto Hope Summers. They have things reduced down with Ravona. I think we need to see Scar over into Hala. So if we have a 1-point difference in Hala, I called it. Could 1 point be the difference maker? They're competing with 15. And there's reinforcements that will go into Lake Hellas. Scary location. Here it goes. They go for the 2. They ignore Hala. Scar's going to be the good call in the pet mansion. Thena's not going to shoot up. Here comes Kitty Pryde number 1. Sage to shoot over the top there. What's the final card? It's a Nocturne. Not enough power. Not enough power, and JimmyDickins is down to his final 2 cubes. 6-2 advantage. The hairman himself with the bald avatar. Hydra Bob, let's get it started. Sokovia is going to toss out Ravona and, ooh, Blue Marvel. Ooh, the Blue Marvel hurts. Blue Marvel hurts. And an Altar of Death. Okay, so if they toss out the Psylocke, get the extra energy, they would have 7 to work with on the next turn. That's not a lot yet. I don't think the Psylocke is worth sacrificing, and this might be worth just a skip. You've got 3 opportunities to knock out Jimmy. I don't think Psylocke being played down at all is worth it. It's scary, but unless if they're looking for a Hydra Bob move, by using a snap, which is irrelevant, on Jimmy, as Nocturne now makes Altar of Death less important. With Hydra Bob having the lead in Titan, we could also be considering Crossbones early to help reduce down that scar from, which is already being reduced slightly due to Titan. Similar mindset. He goes with the Mockingbird, and Nocturne undoes the Titan boost, which is going to bring a dead, pointless Attilan onto the board because it's already turn 4, and Mockingbird's undoing a little bit of the damage here in the center lane. Crossbones only having a home right now. Oh, man. That's 2 destroyed cards. You got to move over that Hydra Bob. And JJ only needs to snap if for any reason Jimmy decides to snap. Because the snaps will do nothing except move Bob. Here's Mysterio 1, 2, and 3. Destroys for Altar of Death, gains extra energy piece. Cable's going to make its pull, who pulls out the Selene. There's your extra energy piece. Ajax is now down to have a good time. And a gift of Ashana on the top deck. No lead in any particular lane, though, for Crossbones to make an appearance. So now instead, it's down to just Scar. And Hazmat goes 1, takes down a little bit of a piece there. Then Kitty, and then the Sage. 15 power is the number to beat, but look at Scar and Shauna stealing the Altar of Death with a Supernova. And 1 power is all you need to win a lane. And just like that, JJRolk has taken down JimmyDickins. Man, the management for that Ajax was in full force right there for you to showcase exactly why Power On is who they are. They power on strong here, and JJ holds on to that reputation and does not lose a match here so far in the Snap Judgments League. We're going to move into the Week 3 broadcasts right after this word from YouTube. or Twitch, depending on when you're watching.
No, they pulled it on the last match too. My apologies. And we get a snap coming in from Docty again. What is going on? Woo! I'm breathing. All right. We're getting the things and doing the stuff. Escape. Now, wasn't that one of those... Didn't we need that one for the album? Oh no, it's the Dan Hip and Pixel discard.
I want to get Blue Marvel also in here. I think you go away. Oops. I think Blarvel comes in. I don't know who Aoshin is, but whoever you are. How you doing? Hey, Lavalope? I'm looking on the cloud one and I don't see it.
And that's when it's really difficult. Widow and an Agent Coulson. She bounces the Kitty Pride on top of the Angela and the Sage. No! No! She's gonna cry so much, cause watch. Boom! Tiebreaker. Let's go! Eggs, I love you to death. I can't believe it. What a game. You look at this and what just happened. And you tell me what just happened.
I am Iron Man.
All right, we're back. We're back. Thank you so much for all of the support. Once again, the likes, the subscribes, anything in it, all of the support for the Snap Judgments League and this channel. Greatly. Just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. As we continue on here, we're now going to be showcasing games from the most recent week, week 3, here for the Snap Judgments League. Due to my apologies, a misspoke moment, and we'll politely call a technical issue. I have 2 games to showcase for you, so let's dive right on in. We're going to be first taking a look at Mexicano versus the one and only Fili. Let's start us off here, folks. Here they go. Round number 1. What are we showcasing is Copycat steals Loki on the opening draw. With a Murder World, Snow Guard, Quinjet, it is a Copycat Loki deck that just took Loki out of the equation and can Loki on turn 3 if need may be. Nice start to the match. Looking to drop that snow guard down. Gonna get a card draw and the play. Oof. Feels really good already if you're Fili. A U.S. agent. Fun tech choice to help restrict a bit here. And they go for the draw. Looks like that they're setting up for Loki on 3. And they pull the cable out too. Rogue makes it a little more interesting now. Removing the Quinjet bonus, even though they can still copycat / Loki immediately. They're going to take that chance, flop it down into the danger room because 25% is always better than 100% in this scenario. Flip it on over, and what do they get? They get a second chance at Loki if they really want to, and they pull the Quinjet on top of it. Namora adds on some power to Rogue, so keeps the priority in the hands of Mexicano. But, oh, mio, mayo, mio, moo. We got some options happening here, y'all. Zemo looking to possibly pull a play on out of nowhere with that Quinjet. Because we haven't seen it make its appearance yet. As rescue, there it is. There's the Quinjet finally making its appearance. So no double Quinjet capabilities for Mexicano. As they get a Quinjet back into the equation, reducing everybody and their sister down, and they're sitting on the Rogue too. I mean, for these opening amounts of cubes, Fili and Mexicano, ah, boy. Namora, Chaotica Namora. Agent Coulson's going to make this a lot of fun. As Namor drops down, which might interfere. No, it hits its target of Quinjet. And now with a double Quinjet on the board and Zemo putting a Wasp into the danger room, Agent Coulson brings on some very strong cards in in White Queen and MODOK. With a Red Guardian to boot. Now, all of the power can be thrown into the left, and even more in the final 2 spaces via Loki and White Queen. Great. Great opening hand for Fili. Great way to feel good going in on 4. Here comes a Mockingbird, followed by a MODOK. 28 is total over there. Then a White Queen to add 1 card into the hand, which is a Magneto in this instance that they chose not to play, followed by Loki flipping it just for the fun of it from Magneto to Quinjet. Here comes a Blob to try to steal back over on the Abbey, and the Misty Knight's not going to do it. And just like that, 4 cubes starts them off with a 10-6 lead. Fili versus Mexicano. As Doc Ock loses its ability via copycat. Oh, this is scary. Oh, this is scary. You get a Mockingbird? That's nice. How about I get everything else? Brrr. Drops on down Mockingbird number 2. Doctor Strange, which can't move anything. The Mobius, just to say that it's there. And then a Bear, which will give another card to both players on top of it. And now that Enchantress can undo the Mobius if they choose to. They're just got a U.S. agent multiple times in cloning bats. Oh, that's just mean. And I'm all about it. Enchantress stopping the Mobius and Bear movement, but not going to stop Mockingbird and Strange moving. So now with a clogged midsection at 14 power and a super easy reduction ability from US Agent and Daredevil keeping tabs on everything, this has got to feel good if you're Fili against Mexicano. It's Quinjet and Hawk. The US Agent does secure the cloning vats, which is a pretty much known and given lane anyway. So trying to capitalize on it right now would probably be pretty good. However, I would be very interested in watching that White Widow also drop into the left-hand lane to potentially clog it, leaving them with one card to play. The snap scares the Mexicano away, and Fili still keeps all 10 of their cubes. It's 10-5, moving on here into round 3. Quinjet as an opener, followed by Cable, definitely feels good. Play it on down, clog it on up. Here comes a Hydra Bob from Mexicano. Cable to boot. Ooh, and they steal the Doc Ock. Ooh, and they steal the Doc Ock. Coulson into Asteroid M. It really looks like their only play, as they then pull Nomura and Crossbones. Not the best combination, but a 3-10 if they can keep that lead somehow after the chaos of Doc Ock would be quite nice. Quite nice. Ooh. Venom, which does nothing. That feels good. Hope Summers, and then no benefit. And then the Mobius. So undoing a little bit of that peak. And Ghost Rider is what Copycat takes from the Arishem deck. They have their Daredevil. So reinforcing a bit of Doc Ock feels okay. They don't take a lead at any location. Sorry, only in Asteroid M. So Crossbones really isn't that strong. But Nomura... as it bobs and weaves just a tad. Helps keep a small lead on this Asteroid M. Now, they also could be looking at that US Agent to play in the left. I like it. I like it a lot. This is fun, y'all. This is fun. It's all about what's going to happen in the center, and oh, he doesn't want to know! Ooh, and Coulson gets taken by Copycat. So a small upgrade to Copycat. The Man Thing could be a deciding factor here. It's a lot of power swing on a very underrated card as White Widow puts a little bit of negativity into the Castle Blackstone. Abel steals Black Swan, and Miles Morales tries to keep up in the Blackstone. It can't, though. X-Mansion's going to gift out an Enchantress versus Quinjet in the wrong order, so Quinjet stays alive. A gift of a card for Mexicano. He's not happy for all the understandable reasons. Hey. Nice big power swing right there from Man-Thing as Doc Ock's going to come on down. It's going to pull a Taskmaster, which isn't going to be enough as it adds 5. They do have the lead in the other 2 lanes, which does feel pretty good, but we get a snap in the process. Nothing Shang-Chi-able. Fili doesn't like the options here. Decides to back away. And the first cube finally being taken off of Fili. We finally see a chip off the top of the block. Feeling good with that Quinjet, even though it's turn 1, 2, get the Kitty Pryde to bounce. It's got to feel good. And a Sinister London. Oh boy, as Magneto gets pulled out of from the copycat pull. Loving this US agent play as they sit on a 3, a 3, and a 3. Stegron smacks over the ninja with a gorgeous hit into Sinister London, reducing down one of the multiples. But at the same time, it also fills up a little bit of chaos at the simultaneously. Gladiator could have a great combination here with US Agent as it pulls some cards on down, because if they're under the US Agent threshold, man, talk about some big reductions. As Legion's gonna give multiples of everything across the board everywhere. Gladiator then pulls out a Bast out of the deck. That could tremendously hurt Mexicano. Korg 1, Korg 2, Kitty 1, Kitty 2, into the hand. Just every... Oh, man. That's a lot of dupes. It's a lot of dupes. All right, White Widow. Looking like a small sacrifice of the center lane. Here's White Widow trying to get rid of the power of the center lane. 1 and 2. And all of the Kitty Prydes going down, bouncing back. Full hand. Almost a full hand. Now on the draw, it's a full hand. As Copycat, remember, took on Magneto. Coulson draws not a lot of happiness as a double blob is able to take over the left lane and the center, and this leads to a big ol' retreat. US Agent, you're a great card, but when you're dealing with that kind of blob, it really doesn't matter. Sheesh Louish. Ooh. Not gonna lie, I missed it myself. But we're going to rewind. I turned my head for just the wrong second. It's one of the blessings and curses. It's like Spider-Ham. Copycat takes on the Rogue. Which could be a very scary card. As Project Pegasus opens us up. Guardian and Zemo feel pretty good. It's a waste of a Rogue. Ooh, he takes it on. All right. There we go. Profex gets absolutely screwed by the Baron Zemo. Oh, no. Now, remember, we live in a world where this is not the end in that lane. We now can move into that lane. And with the unpredictability of this deck, it is very plausible it could happen. Looking at a skip, man. Seeing Monster Island appear as the third location and see no monsters appear. Profex is strong. But is he going to be strong enough to hold on here? As we end up with a Loki of 5 cards. Ooh. I mean, Legion into Project Pegasus would be fun. Let's be honest here. Legion into Project Pegasus would be a lot of fun. But instead, they're taking the safe route and look to clog Lechugia. Here's a couple of rocks. Doc Ock's going to do his pull. It's going to pull down 4 cards into the mid. What do we got? Arishem himself makes an appearance. Infonaut, Orca, and then a Shang-Chi. Ooh! With a blob dessert on top. Needing a little bit of chaos. Unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough. Even with this great win there over in what is now the Monster Island lane, Fili cannot go over the top. And just like that, 2 big matches. Y'all, Fili is down to his final 2 cubes. Final 2 cubes. Location batching isn't real. There's your Monster Island. Let's see what happens. And Quinjet again. The amount of times Mexicano has ended up with Quinjet on either 1 or 2 in this Arishem deck is incredibly gifted. As Cable now is going to pull out of the deck a Magneto, and Green Goblin throws to the other side of Wakanda. Enchantress for tempo. Zemo to Mindscape, which pulls out just a simple Misty Knight. Nothing too crazy. Copycat's going to take Shang-Chi on. And probably going to need to be played this turn. Well, sorry, I thought it was turn 5. My apologies. Oh, and it survives. There's a bear. And then a hawk. Okay. So all of the animals are hanging out in a Mindscape to disable Mindscape. Gladiator's got to have a good pull here. In the US agent lane, it pulls Arishem, which gets smacked away. As Legion plops down monsters that don't happen. Remember, that Copycat is a Shang-Chi, folks. This could be it. This could be it. Keep an eye out on Monster Island. 1, 2, 3. Ultron doesn't present enough. It's close. Just like this match. This match is now down to its final 2 cubes on both sides. And there's a disconnect. No! Reconnect to the game. No! We have never seen this happen. Oh, they're back. Whoo! This is what happens when you watch it live. You never know how the match went or goes, and sometimes technical issues happen. Look, we all have it. We all have it. Luckily for Fili and Mexicano, the match registers. They are able to continue on through, and it's a tight race here going into the final round 8 between these two amazing, amazing players. Quinjet Snowguard opens up the Tinkerer's Workshop with Loki already in hand and a copycat that's taken on Magneto. Nexus plops down with Hawk already in hand. This feels incredibly good. Coulson, Loki. And the Doc Ock to clog the Nexus with everything that just happened, including a Legion! Arishem! Legion! Oh! This is a huge advantage for Mexicano. Huge advantage. The way the multi-Nexus works is it's left to right. 3 spots are available right now. As then the second Loki flips over to Doc Ock Loki again. This is huge. It all goes left to right. Fili's doing a great move here by reducing down Mexicano's hand and throwing everything to the right-hand side. Stick with it. Oh, man. He takes on a skip. Waits to see what's on the board. Quinjet, Jubilee. Mockingbird. It's gotta be Doc Ock now. It's gotta be Doc Ock now. Loki 2? A little risky. You're sitting on Gladiator, which is great for the Nexus in slot 1. And here comes the Doc Ock. Here it goes. Drops down 2 into the far. Did it reduce on down? It takes out the Shang-Chi from play. And 0! Oh, is that 0 coming through? It reduces out the Punisher. And he pulls Blob and is not playing it in the left. He's not playing Blob in the left. 3 cards left in the deck. It's all about, is the reduction off the left Nexus going to be enough? He puts 7 power in there. Agent reduces on down. That's why he plays the Blob on the right. Rhino disables the left location. And with that recalculation, just like that, in an amazing, amazing end, with the nexuses going from left to right, and the disabling of Rhino taking it down and bringing it to a ruins, he keeps the lead by having a taller mid, first and foremost, and watched all of those numbers switch into Mexicano's favor. What an amazing match and an amazing wrap to that match. That was unexpected, and that's what we love here about Marvel Snap. You never know what's coming next, just like these commercials.
Disrespect your surroundings!
Because they should pop up. So that way I should be able to see it when they happen in real time. I have Prime, but can't ever figure. Do we go all four? We go all in here? It's better stats than that. All right, hold on. Let's do it. They leave the X-Men alone on the right. Wolverine flips over into the mid. The Grandmaster's gonna do absolutely nothing. Nico flips over on the left-hand side. The Omega Red comes over the top, gives us the lead into the mid temporarily for now, which brings us over in the right-hand exit mansion. The Super Giants on the left-hand side just for the hell of it, because it's gonna give us 8 power in total due to the Omega Red. We're gonna have another flip on over. The reveals are coming on down. The Killmonger takes away the Nebula over on that side. Nebula also then explodes the Deadpool, which opens up the left-hand side. Carnage is gonna come on down for a 4 power in the far expansion, but Claw is gonna tie the far right-hand side, and we take the cubes. Woo! Pay to win, because then everybody's floor is the same, and it's a matter of, well, I could just spend a little bit of money and I get my series 2 and I can still kick your ass. And I've been here for a week. You don't want that. You absolutely do not want that. I didn't realize how passionate I was about that. But I got nothing there. This deck is very heavily based on Zemo. Getting Castle Zemo, obviously. So if you don't get it, it's a lot harder, as you see, win condition wise. Because think about it. Hood, early send, fine. Ebony Maw, great. Havoc, great. Electro, great.
I just made that shit up too. I'm okay with it. Hey, here we go. Cersei turns Jubilee into Cannonball, who hits out the null. Cannonball.
Doom rules all.
Hit him twice, baby. I don't care if you're Venom. 12 death plus a 4-8 cannonball. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our final presentation here for the first 3 weeks recap of the Snap Judgements League, showcasing some incredibly fun matches, and I think ending with this one makes the most sense because if I know these people, I have a feeling, just a feeling, that one of these two is playing something incredibly fun. Let's dive on into TwoTiez and see what he's going to bring to the table this time versus Koire. Is that how we're going to go? Koire? Koire? Koire. Let me know in the comments in the chat down below. Let's see what happens. And that's why I saw this is going to be fun. We see an Agatha from the point of view of Koire. It's an Agatha-controlled match against TwoTiez, opening up with Quinjet and a plain-bordered yellow jacket. So maybe TwoTiez is leading us off here with an Arishem deck. We're not 100% sure yet, but right now Moon Girl's just going to double up the double Agatha-ness. So even when you think you get rid of Agatha, you never get rid of Agatha. It's all of the Agatha. Hand full, hand chaotic. Phastos and Quake. So Quake's going to end up actually revealing the Dark Dimension the following bit. What once was hidden shall now be revealed. Here's Agent Coulson. Puts some cards in the hand. Then Agent 13 puts more cards in the hand. And a bishop. Trying to keep up against the Demon Phastos. They have to only put a 5-power card to take the lead in that lane. And Agatha says, I got this, bitch. Agatha coming on down. Oh, with a god play moment for the Flooded. And watch as Agatha also comes here to Eternal's Arc with Maria Hill. I mean, this is all of the Agatha epicness happening all at one time. It's a double Agatha. It's a Dagatha. You can't ask for a better hope and scenario. And only being down 4, I'm pretty sure TwoTiez stays, and he does. Here we go. Gotta be 25. Agatha in Flooded 1. Proxima Midnight. And then the Taskmaster copying the Proxima. It's close. Hit Monkey. Misses it by 1. By 1. Wow. All of the Agathas are happening, ladies and gentlemen. And with all of that monkeying around, too. Well, Agatha Arishem, ladies and gentlemen, versus Agatha Arishem means, oh dear God, we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm kind of all about it. So stay tuned. Let's find out what happens here as both players are going to fly through this match then, because everybody's wait time goes down to nothing. Because they open up with Quinjet on 1. Best possible combo here. And a Bar Sinister. Here's a strong guy. Okay, Agatha made a good play. Nothing too chaotic right now into Bar Sinister yet. Copycat's going to come on down with no ability. Correction, the Sunspot ability didn't show anything. And then a Mindscape on top of it, but it's irrelevant. They're both playing Agatha. Normally a very heavily affected location, now just meaning almost nothing. As Agent 13 throws counter ability to Strong Guy, as now Agent Coulson's going to clog the hand due to all of the cards from Bar Sinister. What the best of pulls with that Ghost Rider, and a little bit of positivity, a little bit of negativity. But we do know that Agatha's getting played next turn no matter what. Thing and Hood drop down. They still haven't played into Bar Sinister yet. Agatha taking her sweet time, deciding how she wants to rock that location as Dracula goes to Mojo World. Now she says, let me go to here, hang out a little bit, give all the good over to TwoTiez. Agatha on Agatha. They both make the right call. And let's see what the gifts are. Bastos. Quinjet. And that's it. Oh, man. And he's playing it out, hoping? Knowing that the Strong Guy is going to shoot up. Going to get +6 on the board, so he's adding 11 to the lane. It actually has a small chance. I mean, Bar Sinister is not locked in any way, shape, or form. We do know that they were just gifted out demons. So the 3 demons coming in would win it. And Koire makes a good one. All right, let's see. Koire puts down Maria Hill, gets a little bit of draw. That's fine. Nothing too crazy. Bastos slides. Good plays so far from both Agathas. The Invisible Woman makes New York interesting, though. Because remember, the way Agatha works, whenever there's any kind of move card or any kind of move location, Agatha will always make the move happen on the very next turn plausibly. Even with Shuri going down into Aunt May's, it's not a guarantee that the second card is also going to go into Aunt May's from TwoTiez' point of view. Did they play it in order? Did Agatha get it right? She did! All for a Quinjet. As a mystery card remains in New York. Agatha plays herself into New York and says, I need to stay over the top here just in case. Which is fine. Which is fine. But let's see. Agatha played herself into New York on turn 6. So you know there's 2 Agathas going on. There's no way they put another 11 into New York. But it could be a card like Shang-Chi, for example, right? That Nick Fury and Fastos are very valuable right now. Because they're non-Shang-Chi-able cards that can slide into New York. On top of the fact that they could then also pull cards out and give more beef. All about the turn 6. Shanana Unana trying to compete for the mid here with Aunt May as Valentina goes ahead and puts a card into the hand. Shauna's going to put on down 3 cards. It's Maria Titania into the mid. Big play with the Titania and Quicksilver just for funsies. Here comes a copycat followed by Spider-Man 2099. That's 20 power as the lead in Aunt May's, but with Agatha coming down, it's going to be a tiebreaker scenario, and the tiebreaker favors Koire. Woo, 2 ties. 2 ties. Barely getting a gift with that Quicksilver. All right. Opens up with Agatha Makari. So Makari will play herself. Agatha, are you going to be nice and play the good cards from Nick Fury? Because you knew you were being redrawn. You knew that's how that was going to happen. It's inevitable. Although that Surfer does make for a nice surprise. Oh, double Fastos. Okay, they can, with one turn to go, that Agatha feels good into the Dark Dimension. You do also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more power, so that's 19. That's going to end up at 23 when all is said and done. Right? Why? Go for the tie. Yeah. Oh no. Okay, you win Bar Sinister. We get that. That's really risky with Dark Dimension. That's really risky with Dark Dimension. Wave. Blob. Oh, Hawkeye. Silver Surfer goes up to 9. It's good. Oh, so good. They played it the other way around. Koire would have won. By putting Blob in the center for 20, what would have ended up at 21 power, and then the tie in the right, they would have won the tiebreaker. Makari played it right. Went into Stark Tower. Now Jeff is going to have to move this turn. So he's not going to be able to take the benefit of Stark Tower. What a gift for both players right here. What a gift. Cards want to be played via Agatha. And TwoTiez might be saying, I got the lane, I got the lane, I got the lane. No, I don't. Killmonger takes it down. Undoes a bunch of everything. And we could see even a revival via the Phoenix Force. Oh my god. Agatha takes Blackstone. Without priority, that Negasonic feels worthless, and now it's just down to basically Phoenix Force. Oh, wait, it's turn 5. Oh, wait, if it's turn 5 and they're sitting on 7 energy right now, TwoTiez, might be looking at trying to get that force down now. Here comes the blob. Man, they're getting gifts. Oh, wow. Okay. Copycat takes on the thing. Nothing special there. But Copycat is just a dead car. Is just a straight 3/5. That doesn't do enough, man. That doesn't do enough. You are in defense in Stark Tower, so you could do Copycat and a 4-cost card. But is that gonna be enough to beat the blob? Other way around, other way around. Ah, they decide to run. They decide to run. Ooh, a scary Mojo World. Mojo World in Agatha on Agatha is very scary. Almost as much as White Hot Room. Both locations getting their fill create some issues. As lots of Maria Hills drop down, we move to a 7-turn match in Agatha Arishem versus Agatha Arishem with Mojo World and a White Hot Room on the board. If all 24 spaces aren't filled by the end of this match, I don't know what else it will take. They're gonna Moon Girl the Agatha 2 times! Double the pleasure, double the fun, double mint. No, it's Agatha, you dum-dum. Oh, that may actually tremendously hurt. They lose a whole turn of control now because both Agathas have to come down. And if both Agathas clog, we have a problem. Agatha actually played herself on top of Rescue, and they go, oh man, and it is a clog. It is a clog over in Limbo. And now they're sitting on 8 energy going into turn number 7 after the reveal. TwoTiez on the opposite end has 2 full turns with full control of his hand. Copycat takes on Blob. Versus his own Copycat, which is holding a cable. So, needing only 4 into Limbo to take Limbo. This could end up as a tiebreaker scenario. Not thinking that they're going to have 3 cards. Brings on the tiebreaker, and there it is. Bishop, Ironheart, and it hits the void! The Ironheart coming in big! with that +2 to steal Limbo back. With M'Baku. Oh, a devastating Ironheart right there. Only needing to hit 1. And it did. Taking Limbo back into the control of TwoTiez. And now, needing to crawl back 3 games in a row, Koire needs to see if Agatha is going to gift a little bit of opportunity here. Open Master Mold and Scorpion. A surfer just to play surfer. I like it. Way to go, Agatha. And a Howard the Duck. TwoTiez has a little bit of an advantage. Not much, but a little bit of one. Oh boy. Talk about unpredictable. With lots of fodder to go into there too. And it's a White Widow. Huge pull. Huge pull. Yeah, TwoTiez isn't happy about it either. All of the confusion happening in the hands right now. And honestly, this is a pretty solid play. Watch Nico Minoru see the Master Mold. Sorry, excuse me, the Sentinel, which is all of the confused, into a Goose. Now the Carnage is going to clear up the Xandar lane. And Nimrod goes into Xandar to give more space. Agatha goes to play mid, giving a 15-point lead. And now it's down to only 2. Needing to win Xandar. Does Koire have the ability to steal that lane? He can put down 13 power via Hellcow and Sentinel, and opts to just go with the Arishem. Ends up in a tiebreaker and somehow lives. With it, what just happened? In a flight of luck, no offense, in a flight of luck choice, barely holds on and moves on to round number 8. As Copycat takes on the Hawkeye ability. Okay. It's Maria, Quinjet, and Agent 13. Throwing a Mojo into play is nice. Black Cat disappears. Copycats, remember, got the Hawkeye ability on him right now. So we need to see potentially either Mojo or Nick Fury or a random potential go into the middle lane to capitalize on it. As Copycat looks like it took on Coulson? Into a cloning Dats, and it's gonna whiff the Nick Fury to the left. Here drops Fastos and Havoc. So turn 6 is lost for TwoTiez. Because Agatha's going to stay in the hand the entire way through. As a surprisingly good combination play for Agatha, comes into this cloning vats here. And Shauna puts into play the Howard the Duck, and it's a restricted Ebony Maw as Agatha plays herself mid. With a living tribunal in hand. And currently 37 points on the board. If they tribunal, they'd go to 46. That would be 15 in each lane, and they could surprise the negative zone. Ebony Maw's blocking it off, so they got one card. Shauna would make 2, but the chances of Shauna giving a 3 power card or more to the negative zone are very low. Eliath is redundant. Red Hulk is just hoping for a scaling. This is a risky move right here to do this because it's all about the cloning vats. And LDS takes out 3 cards. Oh, Koire. With the slowest climb of Agatha's life, we're down to round 9. Round 9 in Agatha Arishem versus Agatha Arishem. Both players looking for chaos, and they got it. Hotel Inferno kicks us off. Nothing says Agatha Arishem like angel dropping on turn 1. All right, Baxter Building, I see you. And so does Shauna. Shauna's going to get played over to the right-hand side, hopefully not playing a demon into Baxter Building or Ebony Maw. Let's see where she goes. Put her up. Rocket Raccoon, Quicksilver, and Titania are great pulls. Great conversion, and the Rocket converted on the Coulson hit. As Luke Cage is going to get dropped into Shuri's lab right now. Honestly, that's a great thing right now for Koire, who's hoping, more than anything else, hoping that Agatha needs to go into the Baxter Building. So the more clog that happens into Shuri's lab, the better. And the Scarlet Witch is going to undo it. Oh, boy. Here comes an A-bomb to double up. That's going to pretty much secure Shuri's lab for 2 ties. And Scarlet Witch is hoping to give us something good here. It's a dark dimension, so a lot of unknown, especially as Agatha's a guaranteed play for both players here on turn 5. They both end up playing with it mid, so now we're in a race to Hotel Inferno. With Titania flying back and forth, what are the chances you get Titania on your side? This, I think, guarantees Titania. Or at least, I think it guarantees Titania. Here we go. It's all for the blob. Shauna puts nothing out, sends Titania back over. And then the Agent 13 on top of it brings Titania back. That's going to only be 13 in the mid. Agent 13 for the Dark Dimension on TwoTiez' side as Agatha Fastos flips as well. And in the Agatha Arishem battle between Koire and TwoTiez, ladies and gentlemen, your victor today is TwoTiez. I had a feeling, and again, I watch all of these live. I have no pre-knowledge whatsoever, but I had a feeling, knowing TwoTiez, after getting to know him a little better down at Brookland, well, up at Brookland in New York, a couple of weeks ago. It makes total sense, and I had a feeling we would see a fun deck, and sure enough, we got 2 fun decks in the unpredictable final match of Agatha Arishem versus Agatha Arishem, and that's what can happen here when you have fun here at the Snap Judgements League. I hope you all enjoyed this presentation of competitive Marvel Snap, including a little fun twist apparently right here at the very end. I hoped for it, and we got it to happen. So thank you all so much. If you've made it this far in the video, go down, like, subscribe. We'll have more action coming your way here, competitive Marvel Snap, and lots of castings in the very near future. Stick around, everyone, for the next video, which you'll probably see somewhere right over here relatively soon, and I will talk to you all very soon. Y'all have a wonderful day. See you next time.